Here's your wrestling news for February 1st, 2023. And we're kicking off with this month's Elimination Chamber event, which will see the US title defended inside the chamber for the very first time. Champion Austin Theory will put his title on the line against Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, and two wrestlers yet to be decided in a rare example of a chamber match not being for a world title. Many have questioned why the undisputed WWE Universal Championship won't be defended inside the chamber, and in his Wrestling Observer Daily Update, Dave Meltzer gave the simple explanation. WWE's reasoning is that the storyline right now over the title and Roman Reigns is so hot that the chamber simply isn't needed, as it would just add unnecessary names to the title picture. It's been reported that Sami Zayn will be challenging Roman Reigns in Montreal next month, in the culmination of the nearly year-long storyline that Zayn has had with the Bloodline. Sami Zayn has proven to be arguably the most popular babyface in WWE today, and putting him in the chamber with Roman would only dilute their feud, and it makes a ton more sense to keep the structure for the US title, which has certainly been treated a lot better in recent months. Do you think WWE were right to keep Zayn and Reigns out of the chamber? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. At the Royal Rumble, Sami Zayn's tenure with the Bloodline officially ended, with the Canadian refusing to attack Kevin Owens and instead attacking Roman Reigns. This act of defiance earned a thunderous ovation from the crowd in San Antonio, and now Zayn has continued to distance himself from the dominant faction. On Twitter, Zayn confirmed that his allegiance to the group is finished, sharing a photo of some Bloodline memorabilia in the trash. Zayn has thrown out signed photos of himself with the Bloodline, as well as a chair from last November's Survivor Series War Games event, which features the group, with Sami on the design. It's not just Sami who's out of the group, as Jey Uso is seemingly gone, as he refused to attack Zayn at the Rumble and later took to Instagram to say, "I'm out." The main event and post-match segment at the Rumble was a curtain sellout, as everyone backstage wanted to see what was going on, and fans are hooked to see what will happen next for Sami now that he's against the Bloodline. Last April, Stone Cold Steve Austin competed in his first match since 2003 and blew everybody's expectations with his WrestleMania win over Kevin Owens. Given how well Austin performed, it was hardly a surprise when reports came out that WWE wanted him to compete at this year's Mania, but that won't be happening. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer explained how Austin has spoken to WWE about a match, but has turned down the offer to compete this year. It was reported that opponents pitched to the Rattlesnake included Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and while it was said that the legend could have named any opponent he wanted, nothing could persuade him to wrestle this year. While Austin won't be wrestling, he is still expected to make an appearance and has previously served as a special guest referee at WrestleManias in 2004, 2007, and 2011. Austin's match with Kevin Owens was good, and he neither got injured nor embarrassed himself, so it's the right call for the Bionic Redneck to not jeopardize the feel-good moment of last year with another match. After all, fans saw The Undertaker go from bad match to worse match for years in the latter stages of his career, trying to find that one great match that he felt good retiring on. On his show, Meltzer added that the window is closed for The Rock to compete at WrestleMania 39, and while he could still do a segment and make an entrance, a match is no longer in the cards. Austin's wrestling career began in Texas, and it looks like it ended in Texas last year. But this news has come as a huge disappointment for fans who were hoping to see him compete this April. Austin and The Rock won't be competing at WrestleMania, but it's been reported that John Cena will, with Austin Theory rumored to be his opponent. Due to Cena's busy Hollywood schedule, the 16-time WWE champion has become a rarity in WWE, and that will still be the case even on the road to WrestleMania 39, as Variety reports. Peter Farrelly, director of Oscar-winning film Green Book, will start production of his long-awaited Ricky Stanicky next month. The picture will shoot in Melbourne, Australia, where the film's two stars, Zac Efron and John Cena, have now arrived. Ironically, it was during Cena's feud with The Rock that John called out the Brahma Bull for not being around, comments Cena has since apologized for, and it'll now be Big Match John who makes his presence known live via satellite. What do you make to this though? Are you excited to see Cena's return even if it's not in person? Let us know in the comments. NXT news next, as each week Shawn Michaels and his team have to fill their time slot with content, all while dealing with commercial breaks that take minutes from the show. Last night's episode of NXT was the go-home show before NXT Vengeance Day, but HBK may have found a unique way to push new talent. During the show, Jakara Jackson cut an in-ring promo, and if you don't remember seeing it, don't worry, it's not down to your memory. Jackson's promo was instead cut to the live crowd during a commercial break, giving the young star some experience in WWE NXT. Jakara has been solely competing on NXT Level Up so far, after making her in-ring debut in October 2022 against Thea Hale, and now she's had some experience, admittedly off-camera, in front of a WWE NXT crowd. During the Raw is 30 event, Brock Lesnar made his surprise return, costing Bobby Lashley a shot at the US title. Lashley would get his revenge though, eliminating Lesnar from last Saturday's Men's Royal Rumble match, and it's clear that WWE has plans for a third match between the two. While many feel that this match will be kept for WrestleMania, that may not be the case, as on Wrestling Observer Radio, it was said that Lesnar is on the card for the Elimination Chamber. Lesnar will be in Montreal this month, and interestingly, Bobby Lashley, who has spent months in the US title picture, is not going to be in the chamber match for the title at the show. If WWE does have Lesnar vs. Lashley 3 at Elimination Chamber, then it leaves both men free for other opponents at WrestleMania, and in Brock's case, he could have the previously reported, much anticipated match with Gunther. Lashley and Lesnar have one win over the other, but neither win was clean, and whether it's in Montreal or LA, expect these two titans to collide within a matter of months. Over to AEW as Samoa Joe joined the promotion last year following his second release from WWE. After being released in 2021, Joe was almost immediately rehired as part of Triple H's NXT, only to lose his job again in January of last year. Speaking to Renee Paquette, another WWE turned AEW alum, Joe went through his emotions of being released twice in such a short time and believes WWE management were playing out petty wars with the careers of others. That initially, as I understand it, unconfirmed, there were issues between the two upper echelons of management, and they were playing out their war with the careers and contracts of the people underneath them. After the initial one, I didn't have much of a chance to breathe because, essentially, I was hired back within hours. The second time, I just kinda chuckled as I realized I was very much the same situation. At the same time, I wasn't bitter or mad. The truth of it is, and this is to give WWE some credence, is that I was expensive. I was expensive to keep around. If cutting my contract, if they say that saved the company money, trust me, I believe it did. I wasn't hot about that. It was just more of the silliness of the situation, what they were doing, and the reasoning why they were doing it, which I can never officially confirm, but I've heard from enough people that I have a pretty good idea, including many of the people involved. After that, I think I spent a day pissed, more of the situation than the actual firing. Then all these super awesome opportunities literally materialized. A serious concussion forced Joe to miss over a year of in-ring time, but WWE still found roles for him in the company, including as a Raw commentator before his 2021 release. Samoa Joe has since made his way to AEW and Ring of Honor, where he is the reigning ROH World Television Champion, and we can only hope that the days of Joe's contract being fodder in a backstage war are over. Since turning heel last September, Dominik Mysterio's character has been inspired by Eddie Guerrero, right down to his choice of shirt when appearing with the Judgment Day. Fans will of course remember Dominik's 2005 WWE debut as part of a feud between Eddie and Rey Mysterio, but now the Guerreros themselves have weighed in on Dom's character. When an Eddie Guerrero fan page showed a picture of the late legend and Dominik with the caption, "Like father, like son," Shaul Guerrero, Eddie's daughter, said, "This has gotta stop, it's bullshit." Shaul added that the idea that Dominik is like Guerrero is seriously stupid, and she's not the only member of the family to make her voice heard. When a fan in the comments said that Dominik could be Eddie's twin, Vickie said that's not the case and later fired off another comment about comparisons between Dominik and Eddie. "I'm tired of hearing Dominik compared to Eddie. He will never be Eddie in any way, shape, or form. It's plain disrespectful." As part of the Judgment Day, Dominik has found that balance between serious and funny, just like Latino Heat did years ago. But Vickie and her family are tired of the comparisons between Dominik and the Hall of Famer. Years before he was the cocky ex-con of the Judgment Day, Dominik Mysterio was a mild-mannered kid caught in the middle of a feud between two wrestling greats. In 2005, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero fought over the custody of Dominik, culminating in a ladder match at that year's SummerSlam, which saw Rey win. At the time, Dominik was delighted to be reunited with his father, but speaking to Wrestling Inc. recently, the Judgment Day star spoke about the influence Eddie has had on him. I feel like I've always been drawn to Eddie, whether it's early 90s Eddie, WCW Eddie, or it's I'm Your Poppy Eddie, and to me, any Eddie is the best Eddie, and he's just the top of the top to me, and anything I do is in his honor, man. The mullet, everything. So for me, yeah, he's the man. Yeah, 100%. And I mean, WWE storyline, he's my dad, so man, I would have loved to have gone home with Uncle Eddie at this point, right? I feel like we would have had a really good dynamic at home. It would unfortunately be just a few months after this match that Eddie's life ended in November 2005, and Dominik is proud to pay tribute to the Hall of Famer every single week. How do you think things would have gone had Eddie won custody in 2005? And what would become of Ray and Dominik? Let us know your opinions in the comments. It was less than a month ago that the wrestling world lost Jay Briscoe, and the wrestling community has come out in support of his family at this difficult time. Multiple promotions have expressed their condolences to Mark Briscoe, Jay's wife Ashley, and their 2 daughters, and 2 top WWE superstars made sure to be there to support them. This week, a funeral service was held in Jay's hometown of Laurel, Delaware, and on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer explained that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens made the trip straight after their epic Royal Rumble performances. There were so many people who came in from all over the country. I mean, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn flew in from the Royal Rumble, straight there. They were out. When did the Rumble end? Eastern time? That Rumble ended after midnight, right? It ended at 12:20 a.m. Eastern. They were in San Antonio. They were in Delaware, which probably doesn't have an international airport, so if you're flying in there for something that started at 1. In addition to Jay, the driver of the other vehicle in the accident was also sadly killed, and it goes to show just how much Jay meant to those who knew him that Zayn and Owens wasted no time in making sure to be there for this ceremony. And we're ending with Nikkita Lyons, as the popular NXT prospect has been out of action with a torn ACL, and she's now gone under the knife. On social media, Lyons shared a post-surgery photo saying it was a success and that she's thankful for all the medical team that has helped her, and we're wishing her a speedy recovery.